Alright, what's going on guys? It's GSR here, so welcome to a spacing example, right? So, in this video today, we got Cabal and Fujin here, and we're going to focus on Fujin's 1-2 combo string. Now, what's unfortunate is that the developers did not put in the actual frame data for the startup time of each character's forward dash and back dashing in this game, including the recovery frames once you complete a forward dash or back dash, so that's actually pretty unfortunate. So let's continue. Alright guys, so I'm gonna have Fujin go for the 1-2, and as you can clearly see, there's a little bit of space here. Now if you guys are feeling a little perplexed trying to figure out why I have Fujin backdashing, I'm going to show you guys why a Fujin player would do this. It's very common for Fujin players to do this for a reason, especially when your back is pushed into the corner because you have nowhere else to go but to advance forwards, not unless you have a teleport or you can just randomly slide out the corner, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, you're going to have to push forwards and you're going to have to find a really good counter poke to prevent the Fujin player from backdashing. So we as the Cabal player, we need to think and we need to figure out, okay, is he going to backdash? And if he does backdash, what's a good counter poke to prevent him from backdashing, right? So if you look, his standing 2 doesn't work, standing 1 doesn't work, standing forward 4 is not going to work, down 4, excuse me, is not going to work, down 3 is not going to work, down 1 is not going to work. Back 2's not going to work, forward 2's not going to work, and back 1's not going to work. So this is seeming like a very big dilemma here, and it kind of is. The best counter poke for this situation for Cabal would have to be his back 4, right? So when we go for the back 4, it will act as a counter just as long as you time it correctly like that. Starts up at 14 frames and he gets a hit advantage of 13 frames. So this is the best option for Cabal to prevent the player from backdashing as Fujin, and this is Cabal's best counter poke for that particular situation just in general. So now this is where things get more advanced. Now the player is going to amp it up a bit because they're not going to like the idea that you just did that. So there's this thing called Abare, and you're going to see how powerful Abare is because it's going to condition you not to go for the back 4, right? So, the Fujin player is like, okay, well, fuck you, first of all. We're getting ready to see what you really know since you know that you can stop me with the back 4, right? So he goes for the 1-2, but then all of a sudden he's going for the 1-1 up 4, right? Now keep in mind, his standing 1 is 7 frames, and he's -4 on block. So if you do 7 plus -4, right, that's 11 frames. So 8, 9, 10, 11, right? So you have a 14 frame back 4, which means that you're a couple or a few frames off, meaning that you can be punished and crushing blow. So let's just take a look at that, right? Now keep in mind my easy crushing blows is off. So he just went for an Abare and he just completely annihilated that option. He's like, okay, well, I'm gonna predict that you're gonna go for the back 4 again, and if you do, my reward is going to be really good. Now, obviously, the Fujin player is going to be a lot smarter than this and not waste that crushing blow. Not unless it's actually going to kill, meaning that he's going to win the whole match. That's if he hasn't used this already. More than likely, you're going to be stuck into the corner still because that's where every character will want you to be because you can't go nowhere. So this is very, very important information here. He can go for an Abare. Now, his startup time of the next normal that he decides to use, like I said, is 11 frames. So that 7 frame standing 1, when he goes for this Abare, is no longer 7 frames. It's literally, and I mean literally, 11 frames. Now, we as a Cabal player have some options here. We can go for a standing 1, which is 7 frames. We can go for a standing 2, which is 9 frames. And we can also go for, technically, an uppercut. Because it's 10 frames and it's 1 frame faster than his standing 1, and we'll most definitely get a crushing blow, which I'll show you that. But you have to be careful with this because he can bait out your uppercut, and then he can counter you by going for his own uppercut. Another thing he could do is that he could just backdash and whip punish you, but that's where the down back 4 comes into play for the Cabal player, where he'll get like the crushing blow. But you'll see what happens after I get done talking about this. So you know, Cabal can actually go for his forward 4, which is his daily meat, which starts at 9 frames. Now, I think his forward 4 is a lot better than his standing 2 and standing 1, mainly because it's a mid, he gets more damage out of it, I feel like. And on top of that, if the Fujin player was to predict that you were going to go for the standing 1 or standing 2 to prevent him from going for an Abare, the 9-frame mid will check him. Now you have to keep in mind that the Fujin player, if they think that you're going to disrespect, they could block and take their turn back, or they could flawless block you. But then again, this puts them in a strike throw mind game if you predict that that's what they're going to do. So let's see what happens if I go for my standing 1. If you do your standing 1 immediately, as in if you throw it out really fast, you won't get the punish. So you would have to wait for a split second and then go for it, right? So I don't think the standing 1 is a good option for this situation here. I feel like the standing 2-2 is, and the 4-4, right? Which I prefer going for the 4-4, and the reason why, like I said, is because for one, your standing 1 and standing 2 is a hive, so he could easily neutral crouch this and, you know, take advantage of this particular situation. So that's just my opinion. You do whatever you want. If you feel super confident that he's gonna go for the 1-1 or the 1-2 or whatever when he goes for this Abare, then by all means just go for whatever you feel is right. But these are the 3 options that Cabal technically has access to, and then the other option he has access to is that. Now, easy crushing blows is off, right? And this will ultimately allow me to put you into some form of a combo, and then, you know, I can just do whatever I want. So you kind of get the idea here. This is what will happen. And like I said, the Fujin player can block, or, you know, he could neutral crouch underneath your standing 2 and standing 1 if he predicts ahead of time that, oh, this is what he's going to go for instead of the forward 4, right? Which would actually check me if I neutral crouch. But you do what you want. So this is where the down back 4 comes into play for Cabal, right? Say, for example, the Fujin player decides to block, right? He's like, okay, I'm gonna block. I'm gonna bait out this back 4. And keep in mind, he can bait out your down back 4 as well instead of going for an Abare. Now keep in mind, the Abare can actually stop your down back 4 because your down back 4 is 16 frames, right? It's just 2 frames slower than the back 4. So if I do this with Cabal, I could get crushing blowed or full combo because I am minus 13 on block. Now, if Fujin was to flawless block this back 4, Cabal is minus 18 on block. So just because the Fujin player backdashes and you guess correctly, you have to be very careful because this move is highly unsafe, especially if you don't make the correct read. So he could flawless block this. He doesn't have to go for an up 2 or an up 3. He can actually just take it upon himself to get a massive punish on you with his back 1-1. So you need to be very careful. And same thing with the you know, the down back 4. Like you're really minus, so you need to be very careful here. So if he does this, you can easily just dash up like this. Now there are characters in the game with really quick forward dashing, and the thing is that Cabal, you can do this with him a little bit as well. And the reason why I just showed you guys that is because that is what I like to call a instant throw. Because if I was to do it like right here, it doesn't work, right? But if I dash up like this, the opponent more than likely can't even react to that. You see how fast that was? So I like to call that a instant throw, where you kind of dash forwards and then, you know, you grab the opponent. Now, if the opponent predicts that you're going to go for this situation, then obviously they're going to neutral crouch and get a crushing blow with their uppercut. But then again, you can go directly for a strike throw mind game with Cabal because of how strong he actually is when it comes to that. Another thing you can do is that, you know, instead of going for the back 1, you can go for the forward 2 and kind of get some space here. Or, you know, you can kind of mix the opponent's shit up if you want to, if you have access to a low. Now, this is where the down back 4 comes into play, because I know you guys are waiting for that part, right? Because I keep mentioning it. Now, since you know all this shit right here, now watch what happens. All this shit technically goes out the window, to a certain degree, right? And I'm gonna show you guys what I mean. If you predict he's gonna go for that Abare, right? He's not just gonna sit there and allow you to do it, right? He's gonna backdash, and since he knows the range, he's gonna be like, oh, I know the range of that, and then he's gonna try and challenge it. you know, and then, you know, do whatever he wants, right? So if we look at the recovery of Cabal's forward 4, right, it's 28 frames, right? So I decided to go for this, and look what happened. You see what I mean? So now he's backdashing again, and obviously, you know, you can go for the back 4. But see, you can get more out of this situation now because he decided to take another turn. So he already took a turn by going for the 1-2, but then he decided to take a second turn by backdashing, but then he's taking a third turn by going for the back 1-1. This is where the dilemma comes into play for the Fujin player, because guess what Cabal can do then? You see what just happened here? And obviously you can meter burn this, and you know, you see what's happening here. And Cabal can pretty much fuck his shit up, and then, you know, do whatever the hell he wants to do, and you guys kind of get the idea here. I'm trying to think of a combo, but I don't think it's gonna come out of my head right now because I don't feel like doing a combo. But you kind of see what's going on here, right? And now the Fujin player, if he predicts you're gonna go for the back 4 or the down back 4, he's gonna go for what exactly? He's going to go for an Abare, or he's going to take it upon himself to block, to bait out these 2 solid options, which are a nice counter poke when he decides to take a third turn, or when he decides to even take a second turn, or even a third turn, because his back 4 can actually just stop Fujin in his tracks, right? So one more thing that I'm going to show you guys is that when he does this, he does get the whiff punish, and you can go for the down back 4, right? Or you can meter burn it and then get your combo, which this is a very, very rewarding side switching move. But if you try to go for like the 4-2, you could wait for a minute and then go for the 4-2 if you want. But if you try to go for the 4-2 immediately, you'll completely whiff. If you go for the 4-4, obviously you'll whiff. But his back 1-2 down 2, it'll allow him to get some form of a combo, and then he can do like whatever he wants, and you guys kind of get the idea here. So this is a spacing example. Hopefully you guys learned some shit here. Now if you crouch as Cabal, this reduces the pushback on the 1-2. So you know what, I'll just show you guys what, right? So if you notice something, right, my down 4 doesn't work. Right? It doesn't matter if I'm mashing it or whatever when I'm standing up, it doesn't work. But then when I crouch all of a sudden, I can hit him with my down 4. You see that? So keep that in mind. That's a little tip for you guys. Now, one more tip that I'm going to share with you guys real quick for people who don't know this. The move data and frame data is talking about the standing 1 right here, right? The move data and frame data is talking about the second hit of this combo string, right? The move data and frame data is talking about the third hit of this combo string. So everything you're seeing right here, move data and frame data wise, where it says it does 7 damage, it's a mid, blah blah blah, etc., all this shit is meant for the third hit. And I just wanted to share that with you guys if you guys did not know that. And obviously you have certain characters that have 4 hits in a combo string, maybe multi hits in a combo string, and you kind of get where I'm going with that, right? So this has been a spacing example. Let me know if you guys would like to see more videos like this in the far future. With that being said, I'm probably going to play some Apex and then just chill the fuck out, or I'm probably going to lab some more in Guilty Gear Strive, right? So with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.